I think we were at talking about where maybe the difference is where we are in our diet.
Okay.
And you were talking about David.
Rolling on?
We're rolling, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so at that point in my life, I was so attached to foods, and I definitely have that emotional eater in me. And I think most people, if not all people, have an emotional eating thing. Just some people have it at different degrees. But I just couldn't fathom eating. And he was doing more of like a, yeah, just eat 30 bananas today. And I was like, I think I tried to eat like, I think I got to like 6 bananas. So I was like, I do not want another banana. No, thank you. But just because what I didn't realize, and what I realize now being in this lifestyle, is that as you detox, your taste buds totally like change. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about that? Why is that?
Oh, well, they just get more refined. You can, I mean, like for me now, when I eat spinach, it's pure, like, it's like ecstasy. I just love plain old spinach. And I can sit down with a bucket of spinach because they get so refined. Your ability, your senses get so cleansed. When you have like MSG and food conditioners and additives and flavor enhancers, your taste buds, they get trained and programmed in neuronal patterns in your brain. And then when you have a piece of spinach, you're like, this has no flavor. Oh my God, dude, this is gross. But you're really like, you're a raw foodist, and you're like, dude, this has tons of flavor. You can taste the sodium, you can taste the sugars, you can taste the minerals, and it's delicious. You know what I mean?
Right. Like when I was younger, I never used to be like a fan of eating a salad. That was never something that I would ever get excited about. But now it's like a salad, especially since we're so creative with raw foods, can be like the most delicious, satisfying, exciting meal, like full-blown meal, that I could eat, you know? Whereas before, it would have been like, okay, I'll eat a few bites of my salad, and it just wasn't, wasn't happening.
A good dressing is the key to the whole business, and I can make these dressings that are actually like medicine. Medicine dressings, or like bodybuilding dressings that are like, people take the bodybuilders, they take the protein powders. Well, you could just take the coconut almond yogurt or the pine nut yogurt or the macadamia nut yogurt, culturize it, add that to your salad. You don't need protein powders. You can get these full-on, just like we were talking about in the video prior, the macadamia nuts, their electrons are spinning and they're alive, and the patterns of energy are in there, and they have a different pattern of energy, the macadamia nuts. They're very like grounding and very good for the production of OHAS, or for the men to be like, strong and virile, and also to build nice, tight, strong muscles. Those macadamia nuts are serious business. That's just one example,
yeah, that was something that I actually wanted to talk about on this interview. Was a lot of people think that all we eat is maybe juices, smoothies, carrot sticks, like salads, but they don't see all the options that we have with the soaked, cultured nuts and seeds. Like, we make some of the most amazing recipes with nuts and seeds. You can really do a lot. But yeah, that's a point onto it.
Well, nuts and seeds are amazing. We'll have to go into that. Oh, we'll probably make a dressing tonight. I was thinking about making a honey mustard dressing.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, with the coconut almond yogurt that's in there. Anything else, Miss?
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about this. I said, for those people out there who are exploring new healing modalities and aren't quite sure about how living foods can transform their life, can you give us some examples of some of the physical ailments that can be released from the body, and maybe some of the more mental and spiritual aspects as
Excellent.
well?
So remind me of those other 2 points, but let's get started on what can you eliminate, what condition can you eliminate with raw living foods? The point is this, is that there is an unlimited potential within all of us to activate dormant DNA and regenerate tissue that has been damaged through acid, over acid states of tissue damage, from so many different reasons, whether it's drugs or the highly acid forming foods. And stress is very acid forming, like constant persistent stress can create pathways in the body of cellular damage. And as we go and we begin this process of actually wanting to heal ourselves, it isn't just about the food. It isn't just about getting down to a healthy weight and having nice skin. That's just that's the tip of the iceberg. You start going underneath the water, you realize that raw foods not only is going to get rid of tumors, arthritis, acne, and pain, and a foggy head, and heart issues, lung troubles, asthma from the overburdened lymphatic system. But you also start to go down underneath the water of that iceberg and you realize, wow, I can actually use this pathway to purify my heart. Because you can, so many times you can reach to food when you need to actually process some emotions. And you know this, that I've been going through this for months and that's why are you still detoxing, Dan? It's like, because I'm detoxing my heart, you see? It's a purification pathway.
And that's something that a lot of people probably will never realize until they're on this path and they're having the awakenings themselves, and they see, like, they start to become more aware of their patterns and their thoughts and their emotional body and how it's related to to our habits, the way we go for the food to comfort ourselves. And the food choices that we make when we're under stress is usually not going to be the best.
Yep, so you're reabsorbing the stress back into the cell structure instead of releasing it. And so, because you have to go through that process of feeling it to let it go. And then we say, oh, I'm scared, and we go eat, you know, or oh, I'm angry and I shouldn't be, because Gerd goes, don't get angry, I better go eat some French fries and not actually talk to my husband and tell him that I'm upset with him or whatever. And then, you know, so the emotional eating is one of those things where you're just going to keep stuffing everything back down, and then you'll never be emotionally free to actually be present, because that fear and pain and angst and grief and guilt and shame that affects the heart at the level of those electrons, again, that we're talking about, through your brain patterns affecting and creating like a frequency of energy, which then structures the electrons that are in the water in your body. So love is one thing, and looking out at the world going, yeah, today's an awesome day, and then that structures the electrons in one way, and then like, oh, I'm pissed off, I can't believe that person did that to me. That structures the electrons in another way. So if you vacillate back and forth between those two, but true detoxification is actually getting to a point where your mind is so clear that you're focused 100% on being fully present, fully activated human being, fully authentic and real, and able to vacillate between and actually experience out your emotions so they don't get stuck inside of you and they bog you down, and it's unconscious and you're not even aware of it, and people are like, oh, their energy's kind of funky, you know, and they're not even aware of it. You're just aware of it. But if you become aware of your own energy, that's when you want to detox it and cleanse and purify and heal yourself, so that when you walk into a room or you're with people, you uplift them instead of like, oh, that energy's kind of funky. They can see you. People are very intuitive and they want to like kind of circumvent you because you've got a lifetime of debris on your heart. My ex-husband did this to me 17 years ago, and everyone knows you're going to bring up your ex-husband from 17 years ago, and no one wants to hang out with you or go out to coffee with you because they know what they're going to hear, and they're kind of like, okay, Margaret, get over it. You know, move on, find another husband.
You always say Margaret when you make examples of something.
I like that name, okay, Margaret.
Okay, Margaret. Okay, so, do you want to do one more question?
Let's call that one good. We're doing a little video series here, so they're nice and short so everyone can kind of pick out what they want. Yeah. That one would have been like, because you had some other questions, but we'll move on and we'll get those questions that you had about something about the spiritual stuff, or...
Yeah, well, you kind of went into that.
A little bit. Well, let's do some more. Do you want to see some more? Oh, well, then give this thing a thumbs up. This one's been 10 minutes. So those are perfect little clips. That way everyone can share these on Facebook.
All right, well, then let's cut it and
okay.
go to the next one.
Well, I wanted to hang out with y'all for just another minute, and then I'll let you go. Peace be with you. Thank you very much.
You get it this time.
No, you get it.
You get it.
Oh, I get it.